Hey, welcome to my series Flipping the Flops, in which I look at musicals that are a bit more obscure and perhaps didn't do so well at the box office, but still need to be recognized because of its musical content. In this video, we're looking at the 2007 13 the Musical by Jason Robert Brown. Though still a very popular musical, it only played for 105 performances on Broadway and had difficulty drawing in an audience. I'm going to give a full summary of the show in a second, but if you aren't already familiar with the score, I suggest you go out and listen to the soundtrack. There are 3 available: the 2008 Broadway cast, the 2012 West End cast, and if you're lucky, the original 2007 Los Angeles cast, which shares many of the same cast as the Broadway production. And yes, that is Ariana Grande. This was the show that helped kickstart her career. The summary. The cast consists of 13 13-year-olds. Also, in the first time in Broadway history, the band consisted of teenagers. Spoilers ahead. The story revolves around our protagonist, Evan Goldman, who is about to turn 13 and have his bar mitzvah, one of the greatest moments of his life, the time when he finally transitions into being a man. Unfortunately, his parents just split up and he's forced to move away to Indiana, which sucks for him because he doesn't know anybody. However, he does befriend his new neighbor, Patrice, who has a small crush on him. Evan tries to befriend popular kids at school so they come to his bar mitzvah. So he devises a plan to help Brett, the popular guy at school, seduce Kendra, the head cheerleader. A date is set up to watch a movie and things are coming along swimmingly, until Evan finds out the popular kids won't go to his bar mitzvah if that loser Patrice is going. So Evan makes the spontaneous decision to uninvite Patrice, hurting her feelings. In comes Archie, a boy with a tragic disease, muscular dystrophy, who is Patrice's only friend. Archie agrees to help Evan make things right if Evan helps Archie secure a date with Kendra. He does, but whoops, he accidentally had set a date with 2 guys with the same girl on the same night at the same place. But Archie promises Evan that he only plans on sitting there next to Kendra. However, things misfire when Archie and Brett lean in for the tongue, but end up kissing each other. Brett hates Evan now, breaks up with Kendra, and now Kendra's jealous friend, Lucy, is now dating Brett. They're in a pretty toxic relationship. Realizing this, Evan tries to get Brett back together with Kendra to get on everybody's good side. Archie convinces Patrice to help Evan, and they reconcile. More stuff happens, whatever, and Evan realizes that Patrice and Archie are his true friends, and he has his bar mitzvah with them. Why I like this show. Firstly, I totally connect with all that middle school drama, and I was about that age when the show came out. Secondly, it is a well-written show for teenagers. There are very few shows written specifically for teenagers, and this one knocks the others out of the park. Finally, despite it being a modern poppy and rock-driven musical for teenagers, the songs are great and well-written, hence this video. And although it was written for teenagers, Jason Robert Brown doesn't hold back on his writing. Time to blow your minds. The chorus of the title song goes like this.
Just about to turn 13, everything switches, 13, everything turns around.
Now let's listen to it one more time, this time blowing your minds.
Just about to turn 13, everything switches, 13, everything turns around.
Yes, Jason Robert Effin Brown constructed a chorus of 13 beats in the musical 13. Just a short little Easter egg. Motifs. Jason Robert Brown uses motifs to tie ideas together and to give the musical universal cohesive material. JRB defines his own writing as establishing a structure and playing with it. This is very similar to Sondheim's approach, for instance with the incorporation of the Dies Irae in his musical Sweeney Todd. You can watch my video series here. Thusly, in this particular work, JRB defines several distinct motifs. The main one is a major triad, which is usually embellished with the second, sometimes embellished with the 4th, the 6th, or a combination of these. Stripping the main motif down further, another motif is just a 3rd, usually minor, and sometimes embellished with a passing tone. I'll let Leonard Bernstein explain it.
And not others. For example, why do children tease one another in a specific sing-song way? Na, 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 na. 2 very special notes, which children also use to call one another. Jerry, Doris, whatever, and which are often used by them in their singing games. Little Sally Water. Now that's the same 2 notes, only now expanded to 3 notes. Little Sally Water. Or perhaps you once yelled, Ollie, Ollie, I'm free. Does that sound familiar? Well, again, we must ask, why just those notes in that particular order? research seems to indicate that this exact constellation of two notes and its three-note variant is the same all over the world wherever children tease each other, on every continent and in every culture.
If you want to see more, in the first 40 minutes, Bernstein explains his own speculation of how this came to be. But actually watch all of the lectures, they're really informative. Anyways, JRB does a great job of capitalizing this universally humanistic technique. More examples later. And one other motif JRB uses is the fifth and the fourth. Now that you guys know the motifs, let's see how JRB uses it. Quick note that I wanted to make clear. After the Broadway cast recording came out, JRB made significant changes to the score. I'll be working mainly off the currently licensed version, rather than what is reflected on the cast recording. So lyrics might be different, and entire sections of songs might be different or even eliminated. Additionally, I will be jumping over some songs to save some time and to avoid being redundant. Another quick note is that these are all my observations, and cannot be backed up by any scholarly sources except for Jason Robert Brown himself. And if you're watching this, JRB, I am so sorry. Anyways, skipping the brief opening prologue song and jumping to the title song, we have these two ideas presented here. First is the very clear major triad, in which all the instruments are playing in unison as well.
Picture me,
The next idea is a minor third with a passing note in between.
just another cool kid at NYC near the park in the Met.
That repeats again.
Is sweet, Yankees in the Bronx.
And the next verse, JRB starts to expand on the minor third idea.
Who'd have guessed Dad would meet a stewardess? Mom's depressed and her lawyers are mean. Now I'm
And then he drives it home till we hit the chorus.
and I'm cracking from the strain, going totally insane.
And minor thirds is also what the chorus consists of, and continues to hammer that till the end. The entire thing repeats again, with the same minor third idea scattered all around. We hit something new, and now we see JRB explore the triad idea. First we get the major triad in the first inversion embellished with the 6th scale degree. The rest of the refrain is built on this.
20 pounds by Friday.
We then get a dance break, followed by the somber moment of the song, which you guessed it, is built upon a triad. This is embellished with the 2nd.
I don't know what a man really means.
This melody develops even more till we get the triad again, this time embellished with the 4th.
One day it gets better.
Then it builds till we end the song with another chorus. I gave the first song as an example of how JRB lays down the foundation of ideas. In the next song where we meet Patrice, JRB sets the motif as a major triad embellished with a 2nd and 6th. This creates a pentatonic scale.
Down the road, there's a Dairy Queen. Up the block, there's a Walmart. There's a place you can accessorize your pets.
The chorus of the song emphasizes this motif, and great text painting by JRB when on the word world,
The lamest place in the world.
the vocal line literally travels to another world, a higher note outside of the key.
So don't disappear.
And then once again, the motif is mentioned in this short interlude line.
World, but I'm pretty sure it's not as lame as it was before. Now that you're here.
In the next song, Brett and his buddies try to seduce Kendra. The motif is just a simple major triad. Simple like how simple and clueless these simple teenagers are.
Hey Kendra.
Hey, Kendra.
I've been thinking.
And then after a while, one of my favorite moments of the show where this happens.
Do that thing. What thing? That thing. What thing? That thing you said you would do on Friday. There is no thing.
This is the minor third theme, the one Bernstein mentions.
No, you're not. Don't contradict me in public, Kendra. We'll talk about this later. Fine.
In the next scene, we meet Archie, the kid with that horrible fatal disease. JRB says he wanted to add this character into the show in order to add perspective. While all the other kids are dealing with ephemeral middle school drama, Archie here actually has a real problem, but he seems to be the only one unfazed. Archie's motif that characterizes him are the open and broken up arpeggiated stacks of 5ths and 4ths. His melody starts with a major triad, embellished with a 2nd.
There's the cool kids, there's the preps, and there's the skate punks and the
It is then expanded upon quickly. JRB develops this motif with a constant rising motion, and we have the same motif again, but in a different key and inversion.
But then there's you, 'cause you're the new kid in the school, you're not defined.
Next song is where we get a glimpse into Lucy, who vows to make Brett her boyfriend. At first glance, it looks like the motif of the song is also the major triad with a 2nd. But in an act of brilliance, JRB puts it in the relative minor. The song isn't in D major like the melody, but rather B minor.
My best friend ran out on her boyfriend. And her boyfriend
The chorus of the song is made up of stacks of the taunting minor third motif.
sees a little OPP opportunity.
Patrice is singing this next song in response to how Evan hurt her feelings using the motif of the major triad with the second. The fifth scale degree, the E, arrives pretty late though.
But a friend would never tell. A friend's outside way.
But JRB uses that leap of a fifth motif to his advantage later in the song.
And if your heart is always breaking, 'cause the world
The next song also uses that motif when Evan offers to help Archie in return for Archie's help in repairing Evan and Patrice's friendship. We have a major triad with the second and an A sharp added in too.
No one says no to a boy with a turn.
Evan has to go greater and greater lengths to convince Archie, as reflected in the music. After the fifth, we get a seventh here.
It's a sure guarantee of success.
It then expands to a full octave in the next verse.
Listen, I'm not making fun of your terminal illness.
We're stuck at an octave for a while, but then we're finally hit with the huge leap of a ninth.
And you get your date. So who would complain except for you because you're dying? But no one says no to a boy with a terminal illness.
Is the plan going to work? Who knows? At the end of the song, JRB flip-flops us between minor and major to highlight the ambiguity of this shaky plan.
All hail the brave.
And we end on an open fifth, neither being major or minor. The next song is basically the One Day More song of 13, and although 13 is usually performed without an intermission, this song also ends Act 1. I see the song as a combination of several motifs. Like right off the bat, we have Archie's broken up motif of the open fifths and fourths. Archie of course starts off singing with a major triad with a second, like he did in his previous song.
Only got one shot, better get it right. I'm getting ready.
And we have a nifty key change where we have another major triad with a second.
I'm getting ready today.
Anyways, we cut to Evan, who is now singing that leap of a fourth and fifth thing that Archie had before, with similar accompaniment underneath him.
On Friday night, I'll be the
And Archie interjects with his signature motif.
hero.
Gotta cut my nails.
If this goes right, then I'll be free.
We cut to Brett, whose motif circles around that taunting minor third.
The dark of the Appleton Cinema, free from the public's prying eyes.
Then we cut to Kendra and Lucy, whose motif also revolves around that minor third.
If he does it and I let him,
you're a slut.
right. And if he wants to, but I stop him,
Her melody evolves into a stack of minor thirds.
I'm a good girl. I don't do that.
That goes on for a while. They continue singing for a bit, then everybody comes together in a cacophony of motifs, minor thirds, and leaps of fourths and fifths. The melody of the next song is built upon the major triad, with the second and the sixth. This creates a pentatonic scale. Almost the entire melody is built on that.
Someone got his eyelids torn off, and I'm sitting here.
Speaking of which, the next song is based on the same notes.
Man, when he gives up his soul for a lick from a chick who completely takes control.
I love the next song. JRB uses one of my favorite composing techniques. He takes a part of a previous melody and repurposes it as an accompaniment figure. In this case, he's taking the melody of I'm Becoming a Man.
Tell her you've thought about what happened.
This is to indicate that this moment for Evan is a turning point for him in this story. At this moment, he's owning up to himself and finally becoming a man. The next song is great because it sums up the minor third of the taunt very well, the one I talked about in the beginning of the video.
She says she saw Kendra and Evan at the mall, standing face to face, laughing and talking and holding hands, slurping all the way to birthday.
Once again, we are at an Archie song. Like his other songs, the accompaniment is built upon the broken up fifths. The first half of the song is a major triad decorated with the fourth.
If that's what it is, then that's what it is. You're probably right to just...
As Evan starts to understand, his accompaniment transforms to resemble Archie's, broken up fourths and fifths, and stacked fifths.
I'm becoming a man. Maybe all that
The conclusion. So anyways, even though this is a kids musical, it is still very meticulously written by Jason Robert Brown. All of the songs are very thematically connected. All of the songs riff off of the major triad, embellished with the second, fourth, sixth, or the combination of them, and various other motifs. Although I didn't go through every single song in detail, I hope I gave you enough tools to appreciate the musical intricacies of this show, and the tools to personally explore the show for yourself if you would like to. Thank you, and see you next time.